everyone. So what I want to talk about today and what I want this class to be centered on is the multiplicity, the infinite number of ideas that can be conveyed, and the way in which they can be grouped and ordered into a stream of ideas such that the intrinsic complexity of the culture and society and civilization into which we have all been born, none of us was ever asked whether or not we wanted to come into this world, but here we are. How do we become accustomed? How do we become socialized to understand the purpose of civilization, the purpose of education, the purpose of existence, both individually as well as culturally? The inner universe and the outer universe is something that we're always in connection with. And that connection can be even more perfect. It can be an even more perfect connection than what it is. The uThrones system solution is that process of furthering and enhancing and repairing these perfections that are in varying states of development or decay. Just like the human being, our lives are developing or they are decaying, or there's some punctuation of either or based on lifestyle changes. If you're 85 years old and you've been smoking your entire life, there's an immediate enhancement. If you're 15 and you haven't been eating grass-fed beef, or if you haven't been eating your vegetables, but you change something about that, you change something about your lifestyle, you change something about the decisions that you make, and that you are going to continue to make. So there are all these variations on the ways in which you can activate these core centering and aligning muscles. And there are different distances with which they can be aligned. The body has these dimensions already. Each of us have bodies that are designed for running. They are designed for persistence hunts. And what that is basically, it's when you run down another animal. You track them and you exhaust them because they can't dissipate heat the way that the human animal can. They can't sweat, they have to pant. So we lost our hair. But it was an adaptation to enable us to exhaust and to scare those animals. Which is why, in lieu of other animals to scare, a lot of us choose to try and scare each other. Instead of take away each other's fears, instead of empowering each other. instead of understanding how we can form even more perfect relationships with the force of gravity. That's what we're constantly trying to do. We're trying to find these points of alignment on our face, with our fingers, with our hands, with our breath. To do what? To activate the muscles that we need to call into action in order for us to perfect our resistance to the constant, relentless force of gravity. We can collaborate with it. We can fight it. We can use it to make us stronger. We can add force to it. We can help each other by being each other's resistance. If you don't see this, you're just taking it for granted, which is natural. These are forces of the universe, these are forces of nature that are functioning based on the laws of the universe, the laws of the atomic theory. They are irrefutable throughout this universe. This is a vast universe. This is an infinite universe. And we, with our minds being the product of this infinite universe, have infinite potential that can be used to resist the force of gravity and to conceive of infinite things, to coordinate and to choreograph these expressions, these movements that communicate understanding, that communicate the lack of understanding, that can be utilized to bring about understanding. These are principles that are nonverbal, yet they can convey meaning. They can convey an existential philosophy about how to live a healthy life that's following the injunctions of the past, but also innovating and, like gravity, determining what from the past needs to be resisted, what needs to be evolved, what needs to be modified, and then discussing that with the rest of the people in your community. To use the institutions of government, to use these levers of power that get things done. That bring about the changes that we know we need to make. How do we summon that? How do we bring about, how do we initiate that? In democracies, we can petition the government. What does that mean? It means writing letters. It means writing emails. It means standing up and being counted. It means recognizing that you have an intrinsic power in your humanness to relay your reality, your truth, to the people who purportedly want to make decisions on your behalf, that want to represent you. Test that. Question them. Determine whether or not they're serious. Figure out how committed they are. Figure out ways to test them, ways to determine just how devoted, just how committed they are to you and the needs of you, your family, your friends. I think the world is too complex for people to be expected to understand all of these inner forces that are the result of our inner design, our DNA design, that gives us this diverse skill set, but also gives us this skill set of habituation, of addictive habit, addictive chemical relationships, chemical needs. We have hacks, we have research, we know about all of the plants that can be used to extract the chemicals and the elements that can enhance, when used in the right amount at the right time, or handicap our creative capacity for collaborating, for bringing about new ideas, new creation, new, more trusting, healthier, happier, more fulfilling, more satisfying relationships, both internally, to reconcile that inner voice with the outer actions, with the decision maker voice. Are you going to use your capacity for being logical and being rational? Are you trying to use that capacity to get the job done most efficiently and effectively? To write that essay, to write that report, to read that email? To do whatever it is you do with all of these faculties, the hands, the thumb, all of your ideas, your body. How do you get the most out of this? How do you make it last for as long as possible at the highest level? How do you get to the highest level? How do you train yourself to be as strong as you can be? And then once you acquire that strength, how do you maintain it? You respect your breath.